Everyone, how are we? Another Rubber Duck Thursdays. It's gone by quick this week, actually. Or at least I feel like it has anyway, to know about all of yourselves. So how are we all doing? Where are we tuning in from today? And what have you been working on since last week? What kind of projects have you been spinning up? How many domain names have you bought for all of those projects you've been spinning up? My total is 0 for the last week. But I have been working on some projects. So I carried on a bit with the kind of visualizing strategy app thing that we talked about last week. So I'll show that off because it was funny. I was looking back at last week's stream, looking at it now, and it's come a long way. So yeah, we'll talk about that in a bit. Yeah, where are you tuning in from? What are you up to, and how are we on this wonderful day? In the UK, I'm just looking out my window and it's pure blue sky. It's lovely. Not a cloud. Really not a cloud, actually. Really good. So, yes, good morning and hello, good morning. Thank you for all of the comments in chat there. Good morning from California. Wow, that is early. That's like 2:30 in the morning right now. That's some dedication. Thank you for joining. Um, yeah, where are we all tuning in from? What is the job market for software devs in the UK? Great question. I honestly don't know the answer. I do see things pop up on LinkedIn, but I guess I'm in the south of England, and you know, it's going to vary based on where folks are, even in particular countries. So, um, as far as I can kind of see, it's still seeing roles pop up on things. So hopefully that helps. Um, are those lightsabers behind me? Yes, they are. And once again, I have still left this one on the floor. I still need to go and put it back up. So we actually have some public holidays in the UK tomorrow and Monday. So Friday and Monday. So maybe that is my task for the weekend. I need to go and finally fix that and get that back up because it's like a cross sword kind of version. Um, I hang my Copilot hat on it as well, my Copilot cap. So that is also on the floor as well. So I should put that back up properly and have that all up. So yeah, in a nutshell, they are lightsabers. So hopefully that quells the interest of what's behind me. Hello. Working the ungodly hours. Oh, I'm sorry, Team Craziness. Those really are some ungodly hours. 2:30 a.m. Hopefully, you get a good break and some good rest soon. So, yeah, thanks for tuning in. Hopefully, we're good company at 2:30 a.m. I know our energy levels will probably be quite different. So, there we go. So, from Gabon, from India, from Nepal, from Germany, excited to be here. Well, we're excited to have you with us as well. From Reading, not so far from me. I'm very close to Reading, actually. Um, Oh, okay, that's awesome. You're ready to slaughter the bugs. There we go. Well, we'll dispose the bugs in a nice way. We'll work through the bugs, is what I'd say. Um, sure, let's use the analogies. So, what are we going to do today? Well, there's been a lot actually over the last week. Because what, we're Thursday the 17th today, which means last Thursday was the 10th. Quick maths, thank you. Um, Honestly, I'm scrolling through the change log. There was so much over the last week. There really, really was. And a lot of news around models. I'm sure you've probably all seen that in kind of the news and everything in terms of model releases. So we're going to go through it all. We're going to go through it all, and we'll see where we end up. Then what I'll do is I'll show you kind of what we were working on last week with that strategy app, where it is now, and then we'll see where we go. we'll see what we want to do. So let me know. Let me know what you want to see. Let me know what you're working on, and let me know, yeah, what you're interested in, because then we can kind of steer the stream. Oops, nearly knocked over my tea. We can steer the stream in the direction that we want then. So yeah, let me know. Let me know. Let me know. Good. So in which case, let me go and bring up the changelog. I'm going to go and put myself a bit lower on the screen. There we go. Let's do that one. Or that one. There we go. That one's good. Okay. So what has happened over the last week? There have been just plenty of announcements. They really, really have. So let's just run through these and then we'll dive into some code in a bit. So first off, GitHub Actions, macOS 15 and Windows 2025 images are now generally available. So if you're using, macOS 15, you're building like iOS apps or macOS apps, good update there. And Windows 2025 as well. Particularly useful, I guess, if you're building like those containerized apps, because I guess and my knowledge might be a bit dated now, so anyone please correct me if I'm wrong, but if you're using containers on Windows, I think they were pinned to like the underlying Windows host, so that might be of interest there as well. Yeah, some good updates there, so you can go and try those out depending on what you're doing. Okay, so removing hard-coded secrets detection from CodeQL. I guess that makes sense. So starting May 2025, CodeQL will no longer generate code scanning alerts for hard-coded secrets. And given the investments that have gone into GitHub secret protection, I guess it kind of makes sense not to kind of duplicate those efforts there and mainly cause additional noise as well if you are using CodeQL and secret protection there. So that makes sense. So that's coming. So just FYI, if you are using CodeQL. DeepSeek v3 is now deprecated in GitHub models, but don't worry. There was a version announced not too long ago, DeepSeek v3.0324. So essentially, if you're using that older version of the model, switch to the newer version is kind of what that changelog is saying there. Now, you were all asking me last Thursday. I couldn't say anything. But Gemini 2.5 Pro, now in public preview. So it's now there. So for those of you who were asking when will this be available, when can I use it, when can I try it out, would love to see it in Copilot. It's now there. So it's available for Copilot Pro and Pro Plus users, and then Copilot Business and Copilot Enterprise users then as well. And then, of course, if you have your Copilot access through your organization, so Copilot Business or Copilot Enterprise, then your organization admin will need to grant access to Gemini 2.5 Pro there as well. So so for those of you who were asking last week, it's now available. It's now there in Copilot chat. So great news. So that's one of the models that we can try out this week. I deliberately named the stream Coding with the Latest Models because, as you've seen, there's a lot this week. So we'll come back to those. So good. VS Code Copilot Agent Mode in Code Spaces. Yeah, so this is something we've had access to internally for a little while, actually. And now when you're on a pull request, there's this nice little button, as you see in this little GIF here. If I try and reset the GIF, maybe. I don't like it. Never mind. But maybe we'll see it in a bit. In fact, let me just refresh. And scroll. As I say, there really is a lot this week. But that's a good thing. We like announcements. Here we go. So you can see on this PR, there's this kind of code with Copilot Agent Mode button here. And then you can open up your code space with Agent Mode then as well. And there we go. We can see that loaded. And I believe, and I haven't actually tried this yet, but I believe it then goes and brings in the context from the issue as well. Yeah, because you can see that they implement the following improvements to the About Me page. Those bullet points, and when we go and scroll through, there they are there. So yeah, enables VS Code's Copilot agent mode using the issue body as context. So really, really nice quality of life thing there, I think. That's in public preview, and they'll be iterating on that experience over the coming months. So great to see that. Right, what else? Llama for Herd is now generally available. So is that just the name they've given to the collective names of the models, the Llama 4 Herd? I like that. If it's a pun, I appreciate it. If it's something specific, I've missed that. So the latest AI models from Meta, Llama 4 Scout, 17B 16E Instruct, Llama 4 Maverick, 17B 128E Instruct, and 8. So mixture of experts for that one, for Scout, and then mixture of experts as well. And then you can see that they are optimized for different tasks. So Scout's more for summarization, personalization, and reasoning. Ability to handle extensive context makes it well suited for tasks that require complex and detailed reasoning. And then Maverick, designed for high quality chat, creative writing, precise image analysis, with its conversational fine tuning and support text. Oh, and support for text. That's image understanding. I was like, my brain isn't processing that line right. There we go. Maverick's ideal for creating AI assistants and applications. And a few weeks ago, we actually looked at GitHub models. So if you are building any apps that have AI in them, so they're kind of intelligence applications, then you can always use the GitHub Models Playground to go and try those out. And that's what that Meta announcement there was all about, the Meta models from Llama. Or sorry, the Llama models from Meta, I should say. Right. Now we're into this week. And again, there's been a lot this week. So OpenAI GPT-4.1 now available in public preview for GitHub Copilot and GitHub Models. So if you're using Copilot, great news. It's rolling out for all Copilot plans, including Copilot Free. So regardless, if you're on Copilot Free, Copilot Pro, Copilot Pro Plus, Copilot Business, Copilot Enterprise, you can use GPT 4.1. Of course, if you are on Copilot Business or Enterprise, your org administrator will need to go and enable access for that. So just a reminder on that. Sorry, your Enterprise administrator will need to go and do that. But yeah, that's available. Seen, a lot of it in kind of the tech media. I'm interested to go and try it. It seems like there's some kind of enhancements just from a UI design perspective with it. But I'm just curious how everyone else has been finding it. How have you been using GPT 4.1? What have you found and learned so far? Let's get some kind of learning and sharing going in the chat here as well. So please share. I'd love to know what you're thinking so far. Great news if you are building ARM-based apps for Windows. Windows ARM 64 hosted runners now available in public preview. So yeah, it comes with a Windows 11 desktop image, fully equipped with tooling you need to get started running your workflows. So we announced Linux ARM 64 hosted runners in January. Now we've got Windows ARM 64 runners there as well. But if you want to go and try those out, it's Windows-11-ARM. And then there's some more details there on the image, etc. So you can go and take a look at that. This is a nice quality of life one, and good to be aware of, actually, if you are also using the GitHub Copilot the GitHub Models extension for GitHub Copilot. But also, did we cover it last week or was that this week? We cover it in a minute. We'll come back to it. Don't get ahead of yourself, Chris. So long story short, there's now an additional permission available in in that kind of model when you're using personal access tokens. Also with GitHub Actions as well, but we'll come back to that in a moment. So now you have to explicitly select read access to GitHub models for that token to be able to go and access GitHub models. You didn't have to do that previously. Now you do. So that's what the change is there. So yeah, if you have been using GitHub models kind of with tokens, whether that's GitHub Actions or a personal access token, you'll now need to go and make sure that permission is there. And I think that's already gone live. Yes, yeah, because the announcement was back in March 18th. So this is now the it's happened kind of deal. So yeah, good to know. Secret scanning expands default pattern and push protection support. I am not even going to try and read all of this because the team have been super hard at work here in bringing more and more different partners and providers available into secret scanning. If you're interested, go and take a look at the table here in the changelog. So you can see things like Bitrise, LinkedIn client secrets, MailerSend, NavaCloud, Neon, Pangea. But more importantly, each of those providers will kind of have different support for things. So some are partners scanning, some is user scanning, and not all of them support push protection. So just be aware of that. And then actually this table shows which ones are now included in push protection as well. So yeah, a good list, good quality of life enhancements. So yeah, take a look at that. And I just spotted a question in the chat, and I will come back to the chat. Can you have the links? Absolutely. Please go to gh.io/changelog so you can see that just there, just below on screen, gh.io/changelog, and then you can go and see all of these kind of updates that have happened. And honestly, it's such a great way of being able to keep up to date on all of the things that are shipping on GitHub. It's personally how I keep up to date. I might just show you a little thing I was working on yesterday, which is very rough, and was kind of working with the team and giving some feedback as well. But maybe I'll show you that. We'll see how we go. But hopefully that helps. Thanks for that question. Always a good reminder to make sure I put the link here. So yeah, thanks for that. Cool. We just talked about this kind of a moment ago, but again, related to GitHub models, personal access tokens we talked about earlier, needing that models :read permission. Same with GitHub Actions as well. So previously, I believe you didn't need to do this. I think you could just access GitHub models. Now there's an explicit permission you have to set, which you can just see if I pause that just here in the workflow example. And that's what I was working on yesterday, was a workflow related to the changelog, basically pulling down an RSS feed, summarizing that as part of GitHub Actions workflows. So when my team, we do a lot of these kind of things with the community, like sharing newsletters, updates, those kind of things, is to help us just accelerate that a little bit and give us a starting point, which is something I was messing around with. So maybe I'll show that a bit later. But yeah, so this is this is now something you need to do if you are wanting to work with GitHub models in GitHub Actions. Right, next up, GPT 4.1 Mini and GPT 4.1 Nano are now generally available in GitHub models. So again, these two are not in Copilot. These are not models you can select in Copilot. And these are ones that you can select in GitHub models, meaning if you're building your own application and you want to bring AI into it, good news, you can now go and try those out in the GitHub Models Playground. And again, we played with that a few streams ago, so if you are interested, and I saw a related question somewhere in the chat, we stream these sessions every week to YouTube, LinkedIn, and Twitch. And the recordings are then available on YouTube. Sorry, I see things pop up in chat and my brain kind of pauses and stops. Multitasking is hard. But you can see across all of those. So YouTube, LinkedIn, Twitch, you can watch us live. The recordings, I believe, are available on LinkedIn, but I typically direct people to YouTube because we got a playlist on there. So if you go to youtube.com/GitHub, take a look at our playlists, and you'll see a Rubber Duck Thursdays playlist, and then you'll see all of the sessions that we do. So myself, Cassidy, who does one a bit later on in Eastern Time, and then also Patchy and also Andrea, who do either a Spanish or Portuguese version then as well, a bit later on as well. So yeah, there's a lot that we do. So yeah, please check out those previous recordings, and particularly the one on GitHub Models if you're interested in that side of things. Right, next up, sunset notice for automatic watching of repositories and teams. So on May the 18th, we're deprecating the automatic watching of repositories and teams. And that's mainly for a few things: improving efficiency, reducing notification noise, and minimizing confusion. Because sometimes it's a case of, why am I getting these notifications? And so the team are basically turning that off and sunsetting that. So yeah, just to be aware of, you can go and watch repositories, of course, yourself, and you can go and watch teams as well. It's just that automatic piece won't happen now. Right, CodeQL 2.21.0 supports TypeScript 5.8 and expands language coverage. So if you're using the latest version of TypeScript, good news. That's now supported with CodeQL 2.21.0, improved Java analysis, and then framework coverage has increased as well. So React Relay, Apollo Server for GraphQL, the SAP ecosystem, and then TanStack as well. So some good quality of life updates for CodeQL. Upcoming breaking changes and releases for GitHub Actions. So let's see here. Need to digest this one a minute, because I haven't read these in advance, and there's a fair bit in this one. So Copilot authored events will no longer automatically trigger GitHub Action workflows. Administrators will now need to approve these workflows to run. Okay. I guess maybe it's for things like code reviews, possibly. And then you've got some kind of action required there. Okay, good. And if a run is not approved after 30 days, it'll be deleted. Fine. Okay. Go on, sweet. Additionally, we've released updates to Action Runner Controller designed to improve performance, customization, and compatibility with evolving deployment strategies. Cool. Let's see. Copilot chat for Eclipse. Yes, my friends who use Eclipse here in the chat. Great news. Code completions went generally available a few weeks ago. That is now generally available for Copilot chat for Eclipse. So you've got the chat view, you've got model selector, you've got slash commands, and then things like reference code as well. So being able to scope chats to specific files and just expand that. So ABAP enablement, allowing users to leverage Copilot's capabilities while working with ABAP code. Great. So again, good quality of life updates there if you're an Eclipse user. So good to see that. I know a lot of organizations I've spoken with have been looking for that Eclipse piece there. So I'm sure there'll be a lot of folks starting to use that there. So good news. CodeQL support for Java and C# private registries is now generally available. So when CodeQL scans repositories with Java and or C# code that depend on packages and private registries, but don't include those registries, the analysis now uses private registry address configured at the organization level. Okay. So looking at those kind of private, yeah, last year we enabled CodeQL build modes began to access private dependencies. For example, Artifactory, Java and C# projects. Got it. Okay, so again, good quality of life updates there for CodeQL, and some of that private registry support there as well. So good to see. And good news, Vision support. So previously the Vision support was just GPT-4.0. Now it's been expanded. It's available with Claude Sonnet 3.5, Claude Sonnet 3.7, Gemini 2.0 Flash, Gemini 2.5 Pro, and the GPT-4.0 models. And I believe, yep, it's in VS Code, Visual Studio, and on the immersive mode in GitHub.com as well. So a few weeks, in fact, even last week, but a few weeks ago as well, we've built a few things with Vision. So when we had our GitHub CLI game-based thing we were building, we built rock, paper, scissors as just using agent mode, I think, or edits. I can't quite remember. It was a while ago. But then we built rock, paper, scissors, lizard, Spock using a diagram that I'd written down, I think on my iPad or on paper or something. And then we brought that into VS Code, didn't really give it any other context other than that. And it went ahead and just made the changes and implemented it, which was awesome. So for things like architecture diagrams, for things like UI designs and updates and things like that, it can be really great. So there we go. Good updates. 03 and 04 Mini are now available in public preview for GitHub Copilot and GitHub Models. So good to see those now available as well. And yep, both Copilot and GitHub Models. But let me just check, because I think this one is only available in not all plans. So 04 Money is rolling out to all paid Copilot plans. 03 is available to GitHub Copilot Enterprise and GitHub Pro Plus. So if you want to use 03, you'll need to be on those kind of higher SKUs there. Model Picker and VS Code, GitHub Copilot Chat on GitHub.com. Okay. Mistral Large is now deprecated in GitHub Models if you are using that. And again, similar to the DeepSeek one that we saw earlier, Mistral Large 2411 is the kind of path forwards. And finally, we're almost there. Cohere, Command A, and am I pronouncing that right? Cohere? Let me know. But Cohere, Command A, and Embed 4 are now generally available in GitHub Models. So Command A, multilingual model designed for business critical apps like retrieval augmented generation and agentic tasks, sales and supporting knowledge assistance, improving demand forecasting, optimizing e-commerce search. Embed 4 is a multilingual model that transforms text, images, and mixed formats into unified vector representations, well suited for processing high-resolution images and extracting details from files like PDFs, slides, and tables. So there we go. Lots of updates there. And I just heard it in my headphones. I think my headphone batteries are gonna die soon, maybe. So we'll see how this goes. We'll keep going as long as we can. But I might need to just switch to my laptop because I know we've had issues with the other mic before. So we'll see how we get on anyway. We'll see how we get on. Right, let me go and jump back. Did I have your opinion on my VS Code repo in GitHub? I'm assuming it's public, so if you want to post it, anyone could go and take a look. Would love to know what you're building. Soria, from Iran and Czech Republic, from England. Thanks. I'm glad you find the information helpful, Mohammed. Glad to see that. And yes, I talked about the different platforms we stream on, I think, since that message from the UK. Joining from Houston, very early morning, just back from Google Cloud Next. Good. Quite a few of my colleagues were at Google Cloud Next, actually. So maybe you got to see them while you were there. But yeah, hope that it was a good conference for you. From sunny spring Greece, from Kolkata in India, and good morning, McNets. Good to see you. Getting some issues using Copilot for Windows UI development. I guess the thing that I would say there is, which model are you using? Is it equally going to play a part in that? And maybe try experimenting with the different models and see how you get on. Equally, have a try at reframing your prompt as well. So what you're asking it, what context you're bringing in, all of those kind of things is what I would say. Well done. Thank you. I assume that was for me, so thanks. I will take it. I don't know what I did, but thanks. Please help me access these links. Once again, gh.io/changelog, just here. Go and use that URL. You can go and see all the latest updates. Colombia and Spain. Good. Well, thank you, Carol. Welcome, welcome. Let me see. HFT's not a expertise or specialist area of mine, I'm afraid, so not going to go into that. Sorry. Someone in the chat might be able to help you. Functioniers, thank you for sharing. Great. Thank you for being with us. Are those models GPT 4.1 Mini and Nano available to play through Olama? I don't know. And that's more of an OpenAI question, I guess, than for us. All I can say is that GitHub models and GitHub Copilot offer it, but I don't know if it's available through Olama. I don't think so. Yeah, I'm not sure, I'm afraid. From Uganda, thanks for sharing. You're very welcome. Very welcome. Why don't we get GPT models on OpenAI source? Not sure of the question there. Let me know. Like, feel free to respond back. I'm not entirely sure. So I want to make sure I'm answering the right question. So let me know. Hello from Stockholm in Sweden. I think there's like a dog emoji, so that's cool. Hi. Good evening from Auckland, New Zealand. Wow, very late there. Thank you for joining, Ben. Appreciate that. And from Pune, India. Excellent. Good. Good, good. Right. What should we do? What shall we do? Right. I'm gonna show you my repo. So again, this is kind of something we started last week. And let me turn the banner off now. So this was a repo that we started last week and a project we started. So if you're interested in kind of what this is and how it kind of all started, take a look at last week's stream, because the way it actually started is we built, I don't have the image anymore, I don't think. Bear with me whilst I have a look for it. But we built a basic like interactive app, like visualization kind of app, from a screenshot. I don't think I have the screenshot anymore, sadly. Just having a look to see if I can find it. Nope, never mind. But you can look at it from the last stream anyway. Let me bring that back up. So this is public. You can go and check this out if you're interested. And then it's also deployed to GitHub Pages. So you can go and click on that, and it takes you to the app. So it's just a Next.js app, fairly simple, single page. Got a few different components going on. I've got this kind of blend diagram, this concentric circles thing here. So I should probably set some context actually on what I built. I studied an MBA over the last 2 years, and one of the things that I know about me as a person is I'm super visual. Like, if I learn things, I learn it because of like diagrams and images and just seeing things and videos and whatnot. And this was one of the diagrams that really stuck out to me. And it's called a trend radar. So you can go and basically see what your kind of opportunities or your threats are across these different quadrants. And then the closer it is to the center, the more likely that thing is to happen. So the rings are the likelihood of that thing happening. When we place dots on there, the color of the dots, so green, amber, or red, is how prepared you are. And then the size of the dot is how relevant that is. So, is it relevant for you or your organization or whatnot? And so what I built was effectively, new AI models come out. So that's like something technology-wise. The likelihood of that is very high. The relevance right now to me as like a person in tech and kind of keeping up is very high. How prepared am I? Quite prepared. Like I'm keeping up to date with all of the news and everything. So I'll go and add that point. And you can see now it's gone and plotted that. So we might go and put whatever in there. Likelihood is highly unlikely. It's low, inadequately prepared. And you can see it's placed a little kind of red dot over there as well. So this was kind of what I built or started to build last week. And now you can see we can click on the dots. It updates our edited selected point there as well. Also, it just kind of slightly fades out the other dot, and we can go and click on whichever one we want. Then something I worked on over the weekend, I want to say, is being able to load the diagrams. And I can't remember. Did I have? Oh, yeah, I do. I just need to go and scroll down a bit. There we go. So you can go and see, you can go and save and load these then as well. So this was what I built last week. This was kind of what started off as a diagram. And then with Copilot's help and working with all of this, I was able to go and iterate on that and go and build this. So yeah, like I thought that was kind of fun. Because in a very short amount of time, I was able to go from literally an image, get some MVP, and then iterate on it with Copilot. So yeah, got an idea of something we could try, maybe. But I'm just curious with everyone else, what have you been working on, and is there something in particular you'd like to go and try out today? Because I think there's a couple of ideas that I've got. One is going down the path of the brickbreaker game that we were making before, trying some of the new models there. The other is this does actually support light and dark mode right now. And I'm just going to bring this off screen a sec whilst I bring up my system settings. There we go. Right. So if I go and change my system theme to light mode, there we go. We got light mode, then to dark mode. I'm kind of wondering whether like I should have like a system theme light or dark mode toggle on this page as well. So maybe that's something we could try and implement with Copilot here, possibly. So let's try that out. Right, so we did add save load. Let's bring down the latest changes. They're all there. Good. So, add light dark mode. Do I have a GitHub issue for this already? I can't remember. So I'm just going to use my good friend agent mode here. And I'm going to use the GitHub server for that. So I might have changed my personal access token. I can't remember. So we'll see if this works. Are there any open issues in this repository about light and dark mode? Yep, so it gets interesting. So I didn't repoint my my repo. Let's see how this goes, because I renamed the repo. Yeah, exactly. Plus, I think there may be kind of a pat thing going on there as well. Let me try this. Yeah. So update the remote location to anyone. Thank you. There we go. going to try that again. And we can see if it was a pat issue. Oh, interesting. It's still... I know why. I think I authorized the pat for just that repo. So what I'm actually going to do is do that off screen a minute, because obviously don't want to go leaking any pats. That would be bad. So I will just be overly cautious and do that off screen here. Let me see. MCP. And then we'll grant it access to just that one repo. And then going to give it a few different settings here. Let me see issues. There we go. All requests. Okay, that's probably a good amount. Generate that token. Okay, and let me just go and update that in VS Code. Hold on. That, there we go. Right. Okay. I'm just gonna get rid of close that window. Okay, right. Let me bring that back up on screen. There we go. So let me try the same thing again. Are there any open issues in this repository about light and dark mode? But now, hopefully, I hard-coded that somewhere. Why is it continuing to ask that? Okay, but anyway, it's it clearly picked the right repo, because when I go and take a look at the repo, you'll see there are things like D3.js, React memo, blah, 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 and all those other things in there. So it clearly summarized it correctly. So yeah, interesting one. I'll need to go and dig into that. Okay, let's create a GitHub issue that acts as a design spec, a requirements document design spec. It must clearly articulate the definition of done for this feature. I would like the user to be able to click between a light, dark, or system mode in the UI to change the theme of the app. If dark light mode is selected, use the current light mode config. If dark mode is selected, use the current dark mode. System is selected. Base the theme on the system settings. Okay. So let's see how that goes. going to expand that just so we can all see. Right, so again, you can see each time that we're prompting and calling that tool, so that MCP server. Here saying, right, user selectable. I get this kind of preview. You can, if you want, say, right, I want to allow it in just this session, in this workspace, or always allow. I do like reviewing these, though, because there's a few times where I've needed to go and change things. So anyway, feature review, allow users, yeah. That's okay, good. Yeah. Let's try that. Continue. Great. So allow users to toggle between light, dark, and system theme modes. So when light is selected, yeah, that's good. Yeah. Okay, good. So I'm just curious now. Let's try this code with Copilot agent mode thing that we just saw in the changelog. Oh, I know. There's something I reported. I'm having an issue loading up code spaces. This. Let me bring a Chrome browser over. There we go. Yeah, I just figured, given we saw that pop up in the changelog about the code space button and agent mode, why not try it out here? So we'll see how this goes. I can't remember if I did configure a good dev container for this repo. It might not actually work, and that's all on me. We'll see how good past Chris was at setting things up here. And if not, we'll just jump back to local VS Code. No big deal. Connecting to code space, okay. Still opening that right now. And how did I set up the dev container? Okay, that'll be why. Because I got using a node-specific container image, open port 3000, install our node packages. Make sure all of that is there. Okay, so let's open there. I mean, it will get injected. I wonder if I had an issue because of the thing loading up in there. Let me try this. GitHub.com. Let me just try it from. I'm just going to try it from Chrome instead. And let me go back to that issue. There we go. We'll try that again. Otherwise, we'll pull it in just using VS Code locally and just accessing that issue. So yeah, we'll see how we get on with that. Interesting. What did you try with GPT 4.1 Pro Gamer? What kind of scenario was it you were working on? And I'm not sure on the current rate limit on Sonnet 3.7. I'm not sure we I'm not sure how much of that is published. But yeah, I'm not sure, I'm afraid, on that one. We'll give this a moment. Let me jump back to the old code space. Oh, I closed it, didn't I? Never mind. Okay. Well, I'm going to leave that load in the background then. And let's go back to Visual Studio Code, so away from our code space. Let's start a new chat thread, close everything down. Can you start implementing the issue around light and dark mode enhancements, please? There we go. Let's try that. Is that actually? Can you look up the issue about GitHub issue about light dark? Your task is to implement those requirements. Maybe GPT-4.1 is not calling the tools. Oh, yeah, let's try a 4.1. So I jump back to Chrome, go and see what's going on. There we go. So it did work on the code space when clicking the button. Oh, and now my VS Code is working as well. Of course, it all happens at once, folks. This is how it goes. Let's stick with the code space option for now. So here you can see it literally brought in the context of that GitHub issue into the prompt. So because we clicked that button in the PR, and that was the thing that we saw in the changelog earlier. So now it will take that context and bring it into the chat body for us. So it looks, there's a lot in there. So right now it's just going and reading all of the different relevant files. I'm very intrigued to see how this goes, because this is always a little test I try, because for some reason I find light and dark mode switching, it will want to handle in a very specific way. And typically, depending on how I've done things, that way doesn't always work. So yeah, just curious. So we'll tap the package file, I'm assuming, to see what dependencies are in there. As getting that context and understanding how things are set up currently before it goes and makes any changes. Gonna close that terminal. Then there we go. I'm going to make that in the chat. Maybe that's a bit easier for you. Oh no. Did I stop it? I think I may have stopped it by doing that. Well, there we go. That was fun. I'm going to rerun that. Okay, there we go. Let's do it like this. And let's try that again. Let's jump back to VS Code for now and see how that's going. Right, so list issues. Sure, we'll go and look at all the issues that are open in that repo. Fine, I guess. Mm, right, back to the code space. Right, so reading the file, searching for the Tailwind config, reading the next config. So I guess it's trying to understand how things are configured at the app layer, at the app level right now. Let me zoom in a bit just so it's super clear and readable on screen. I'm going to also put myself down there. Or maybe over here. It's really small like that. Okay. So that one's working. We'll jump back to VS Code. I feel like we're kind of working in parallel here, the two different options, trying it out. So reading package JSON, random list issues, going through. So it's going down a similar path here, actually, reading the issue that way. So kind of assessing what needs to be done and working through. So that's on the code space. And similar on the VS Code local kind of app here as well. We'll be bringing in the model context protocol. Yeah. So almost doing a bit of a face-off, I suppose, between the two different ways of doing this. Both with the same model, by the way, but just interesting to see. We brought one in as with the prompts in the actual initial message there, and then the other, I had to go and use the MCP tools, the GitHub MCP server, to go and bring the context in from the issue. But both really thoroughly, I guess, trying to understand what context is in those existing implementation. Maybe that is because when you look at the issue that we had, and I'll jump back to there. I think one of the things that I put in was about the existing. Yeah, use the current light mode configuration, use the current dark mode configuration. So maybe it's really trying to understand then what the existing setup looks like. Okay, right. So so I got a lot of just linting stuff there. Okay, Dr. Luxy, great question. So what is that tailwind about the agent looks for? So on this app, what I've built is effectively a Next.js application. So using Next.js as the framework, and then that's based on React, written all in TypeScript, but then for the styling of the actual site itself, we're using Tailwind CSS. And it's one of these open projects that you can go and take a look at. And Tailwind CSS, it really just helps from a design perspective of your kind of web-based apps. So that's just the kind of framework or the projects really that we've used in this particular project. So when it says the Tailwind config.js, what it's referring to is how we've got things set up in the configuration for our local project. So that's what I was talking about there. So hopefully that helps. Yes, please continue. So I'm gonna open a new terminal. I would expect there at some point to be some kind of button added onto the user interface. There we go. Right, there's the app once again. Good. This is our local Visual Studio Code version as well. So it looks like it's starting to do similar kind of things here. The local version has added the theme toggle. Okay, good. I'm curious if we'll get how similar of an output we'll get compared to the both of them. So here's the code space. We've got our theme TS, we got our theme selector, and then the theme selector is now brought in as a component. Good. Okay. So then, okay, so we see system. Yeah, and this is what I always seem to get, is it doesn't quite get it. Unless, do I need to redeploy? Oh. Can you all still hear me? Because this is where my headphones have just stopped. Let me know. You can. Great. Thanks, Gabriel. Appreciate it. Good. So, just going to keep switching back. So there we go. System light. Yeah, that. So this one isn't working. But it's still making changes. Okay. Let's see if the tests actually work. Apart from some console errors, which I could swallow there. There's a typo. Just should just be just. The number of calls 0. Interesting. And let's try this on my local VS Code. So for anyone who's just joined, welcome. We're effectively doing the same thing in 2 places here. So we've got my local Visual Studio Code trying to implement a GitHub issue, locally in Visual Studio Code, calling the GitHub Copilot then as we would. But the way we started it off was pulling the GitHub issue context via the GitHub MCP server. Whereas in the other window, we're in a browser in a code space, and we injected the issue body just in the prompt directly. Just kind of a little experiment here. So let's see how we get on. Yes, they are lightsabers behind me. Yeah, exact same issue here as well. Huh. So I'm going to stop the code space one just to kind of stop the amount of context switching. And I'm conscious as well there's a lot of calls going back and forth on Copilot with all of these. So let's carry on just in my local VS Code here. So we'll go and run those tests. I expect it'll fail like we just saw a moment ago on the code space. Hello, hello, welcome, welcome. And I should probably drink some water. Okay, all the tests passed. Funny. My tests aren't rigorous enough, and testing what needs to be tested then is my comment there. Okay. You know what? We will from Nepal, welcome. Turkey, India, welcome, welcome. Thanks, folks, for joining. Let me see. So we need a new line at the end. I'm just going to do an npm run prettier here. Get rid of some of those linting issues. There we go. Okay. I'll fix that in a moment. The thing that I really want to work on is thanks, Gabriel. There we go. Screen now available. Okay. Let me see. Are we getting any errors or anything? Any logs that are useful? No logs. No logs. Okay. So, thanks. All our ability tests pass. And I do not see any logs. However, the theme switching has got appear to be working. Let's try that with GPT-4.1. There we go. Yeah, thanks for calling out about the screen. I think when the headphones decided to stop working, I think I switched a few things around, so thanks for that. Thank you for the details in your next JS app. I'm going to bring myself off screen there as well. So we're going to go solo. So thank you for the details. I'll zoom in just a touch so you can see that. Okay. Okay. Hi from Ghana, hi from Kenya, Bangladesh. Welcome, welcome everyone. Let me see. Yeah, I think I might pause on. Oh, there we go. Just as I say I was about to pause, it's going to give us a try here. Don't think anything. There were some changes. Okay, create context, use context. Okay, fine. I just want to read this a bit more and understand this. This is really interesting that is coming from GPT-4.1. HTML element is defined in your custom layout, but the theme logic is adding the dark class to document element, which is HTML. However, Next.js app router is controlled by the layout. The React components cannot dynamically update its class name after hydration. Right. Code tries to add the dark class. Huh. You need to control the class name from the layout itself, not from a client component. Right. So we're basically taking it up a level and bringing it into the theme. The best practice is to lift the theme logic. Okay, makes sense. Okay. Oh. You're attempting to either remove. Okay, we just need to. What file was that? I thought that was layout. Source app layout. Line 17. Yeah. Line 17. We are. From current market. Which is disallowed. I see. Okay. Let me just try that. Removing that. Did I not update it? What did I do there? Oh. Let me see. There we go. Okay. Nope. Still not working. I think, because I'm just conscious of how long we've been streaming here as well, that maybe this is one that I carry on with outside. Because, yeah, I imagine this one might dig in a little bit here. So I think we'll maybe pause there, and maybe we'll carry on next week. But anyway, we've a lot of today's session was really focused on the changelog, on all of the things that have come out over last week, of which there was a lot. From things like new models and GitHub models. I think we talked about DeepSeek. There were some updates. There were some updates with I forget some of the other models. There were so many. There were new meta models there as well. On the Copilot side of things, we've had new models. There's GPT-4.1. There is O4 Mini, and there's O3 as well. So lots of new different models there. And then we also talked about some of the changes, by the way, with if you're using actions or a path. In fact, let me show you that really quickly. Maybe that's something we can end on here as well. Just gonna find the repo. There we go. Let me bring that back up. There we go. So again, this one's private at the minute. It's just because I was kind of messing around, trying something out here. I wanted to go and see if I could go and make a GitHub Action workflow where I could go and get some posts from the GitHub Changelog and then go and summarize them using GitHub models. Because our team at GitHub, we do a lot of work with the community, and we want to go and kind of summarize all of the things that are coming out. So I was thinking, is there a way that we can make that a bit easier and automate some of that, rather than just being a bullet pointed list of links? Can we make it a bit more interesting and a bit more kind of like a newsletter or something like that? Like, what can we do? Just a bit of experimenting, really. So I've got two files, one to go and fetch a changelog, one to go and summarize the changelog. And all that's happening in my GitHub workflow is specifying a time period. At the minute, though, on the changelog, there's only 10 items, so I've been speaking with the team on that, if there's a reason for that. But anyway, putting that one aside, because this could be useful for like other RSS feeds or something like that. The important thing is what we talked about a bit earlier, these kind of permissions that have changed. The fact that you now have this models read permission. Before you didn't need that to access GitHub models. Now you do. So you need that explicit permission to be able to go and call GitHub models. So we check out the repo, set up node, install dependencies. Then we go and go and fetch the latest changelog from GitHub Changelog, and then we go and summarize that then as well. And I haven't done that as like a on a cron job or a period or anything like that right now. I'm just kind of triggering it manually whilst I go and test that. But here we go. You'll see that just like any other workflow, checking out the repos, setting up node, installing dependencies, fetching the changelog, and then it goes and sends that that kind of text up to GitHub models to go and summarize. So you can see there all of the kind of announcements that we've been talking about today. So GitHub announced several significant updates, including the GA of Cohere Command A, Embed 4, OpenAI GPT-4.1 Mini, GPT-4.1 Nano, etc., etc. So this is kind of an interesting update. Something that I might put in there is changing in the code, for example, some of the instructions around that. So something like you are an expert developer relations professional. Your job is to produce a weekly newsletter for the GitHub community. To summarize the following GitHub changelog entries. Oh, my bad. There we go. Summarize in a concise newsletter. Each update must be no longer than 2 sentences. Please pick the most impactful or interesting announcements. Group them together thematically as much as you can. This newsletter you must include links to the original changelog post in the letter, and you must format it as markdown. Let's try that. And obviously, please don't push to main normally. This is just because I wanted to go and show you quickly just what I've been working on. Oops, clicked the wrong button there. There we go. All right, run workflow. There we go. Go and refresh that. Nice. So again, this is one of those scenarios where you can go and try out GitHub models and use it as a bit of a test bed and a playground for things here as well. Right, here we go. Stay up to date with the latest features and changes from GitHub. Okay, so it has literally just gone and brought it in. Okay, so let me add one more thing then. This is the beauty, right, with this kind of prompt engineering that we're doing here. It's just like coding. We're just iterating over it. We're working on it and making it, getting it to where we want it to be. So summarize the following in a concise newsletter. Each update must be no longer than 2 sentences. Interesting announcements. Group them together thematically as much as you can. Each group or section must have a brief explainer, no more than 3 to 4 sentences, explaining these updates and how they may be useful for a developer. Something like that. You must include links to the original changelog post. Yeah, you must format it as Markdown. Do not suggest any articles or posts if they are not from the original body. Do not I think let's do that for now. Okay, so we'll go to the action, go and try that. I think it was GPT-4.0 that I was running this one on actually. So let me just go and take a look. Yeah, GPT-4, 4.1. There we go. So we're using 4.1 for this one. Okay, run. Yes. Now let's go and see. So Dev, great question. So my kind of instance of Rubber Duck Thursdays, we go live every 10:30 a.m. either BST or GMT, but 10:30 a.m. UK time is when we go live with this one. So yeah, good to see you. And I saw the ducks, by the way. Thanks for the comment last week. It's generally supposed to be for an hour, but I sometimes find there's things that we're working on which are kind of interesting. So we just kind of go on a little bit as it makes sense, and then for others we'll go a bit shorter. But generally it's about 1 hour. There we go. Welcome to this week's roundup. GitHub Changelog updates. This edition includes exciting AI enhancements, Copilot chat improvements, security streaming upgrades, important notices, and upcoming changes. Dive in to see how the isn't this awesome? Like, look at how just by tweaking that prompt, we've been able to get from just a one-line kind of, well, not one-line paragraph, but a paragraph just summarizing to a list of newsletter items just line by line to now something which looks good. Nice. Okay, well that's something I can carry on iterating on. The funny thing is
I actually already have a GitHub action to... Oh, what did I do there? Oh, my bad. I actually have a GitHub action to pass an RSS feed, which I created like years ago. So what I'm thinking is I might need to have a separate action then to go and just do the summarizing and producing the newsletter kind of thing. But there's clearly, clearly I need to go back to this and work on this one again and bring this up to date. So yeah, that's just a little bit of a fun way to go and end the stream for us here today. So we tried the new models in Copilot, so 4.1. We tried O4 Mini. We didn't try O3. Didn't quite get where we wanted to go in terms of those UI updates and those kind of light mode, dark mode things. Like, it does work, but I want to change the way it works. And I think the problem is me. I think I'm not prompting it in a way that I'm getting across what I want and need. So I just need to think that through a bit more. Then we just quickly here played with GitHub Actions and GitHub Models, just iterated on summarizing the latest posts from the GitHub Changelog. So yeah, we'll keep working on that. I think I've got some work to do on the that old RSS parser action that I had and bringing that up to speed so we can start making these different kind of workflows. So having like a RSS parser action, a summarize into a newsletter action, and that kind of thing, because that could be really useful to I think some of our processes anyway. I'll keep digging into that. So with that, what else is going on? We have a couple of other streams coming up later. So later today we have later today we've got a session from Cassidy. So similar to this again, and I think she might be working on some site updates. I might be wrong, but I think that's what she's planning this time. Then there's also going to be an event in Spanish today as well. Jueves de Quack, Proper Tech Thursdays. I just love how that translates. So that is awesome. And then tomorrow there is Open Source Friday, all about Open Source Viennas. So I believe that one's in Spanish as well, and that one is about Rust. So we'll be back again next week, same time, because I don't think there's anything next week which prevent us from that. No, we're good. We're good for next week. So I'll see you all the same time next week. And yes, you're right, Sunny Dev. That is a great call out, actually. Cassidy was on the VS Code Microsoft event stream yesterday. So if you didn't check that out yesterday, there was a really awesome... I'm just going to put that on mute and show you quickly. There was VS Code Live Agent Mode Day yesterday. So it's about 5.5 hours of streaming of VS Code Live and GitHub Copilot Agent Mode. So yeah, go and check that one out as well. That one's on, I guess, the Visual Studio Code channel, the GitHub channel as well. We've got plenty to keep you all occupied. Thank you for joining, as always. And thanks, Shirley, appreciate it. There we go. Acknowledged. We'll be on first names, not on full names. There we go. So thanks, folks. Have a great week. For those of you who may have public holidays like we do in the UK, have a great time off. And I will see you all next week. So thanks for tuning in, folks. And we will see you next time. Bye for now.